Hello dear students, hope each one of you is doing good. Today we are going to study another important topic in writing skills, and that is Precis writing. I hope this video will be useful for each one of us. So let's begin with an introduction. The term Precis is derived from French word which means precis or expressed accurately. It also means an abstract or a gist of a longer passage. So when you read a long passage, you try to extract information out of it, and that is the gist. So the Precis is a clear, compact and logical summary of a passage, and it only preserves the essential points or ideas of the original. So let's study the Precis writing in detail. Now, Precis writing helps in conveying the main ideas of a long passage briefly, as I said, the gist. So you can call it a summary. Precis writing is an exercise in compression. A precis is the gist of a passage expressed in as few words as possible. A precis should give all essential points so that anyone reading it will be able to understand the idea expressed in the original passage. I mean, the idea contained in the passage needs to be clear while going through the Precis writing. Now, let's have a look at the qualities of a good Precis. So we'll begin with clarity, which means getting your message so that reader can understand easily what the writer is trying to convey. So clarity needs to be there. If clarity is not there, the message would not be clear. Then comes correctness. Sentence ought to be proper grammatical, punctuation and well spelled or free from any sort of error. That is very important. And also, correct idea should be conveyed. The idea that is being conveyed through that Precis writing needs to be correct. Then comes objectivity, which means the ability to present opinions and personal preference. The writer should adopt an objective approach. And you cannot add personal opinion and ideas when writing a Precis. So after objectivity, we have conciseness. It means brief and direct. It's a desirable quality of a good Precis. Use concise expression. Avoid unnecessary repetition, because if you keep repeating the same thing again and again, the message would not be clear. So convey information that is clear, and it needs to be conveyed efficiently. So these are the qualities of a good Precis. Now let's have a look at the rules for writing a Precis. So there are 16 rules for Precis writing. It includes careful reading, outline, understanding, underlining, omission, don't omit, length, indirect speech, own wording, avoid giving opinions, paragraph form, tenses and person, no change in meaning, art of compression, rereading, and conclusion. So these are 16 rules for Precis writing. Now let's understand these rules in detail. So we begin with careful reading. So firstly, we need to read the passage again and again until we understand the meaning of the passage. The more we read it, the more familiar it becomes to us. So try to read it thrice to make its subject clear. So careful reading is very important. Then outline. Usually one is asked to supply an outline for a Precis. While reading the original passage, think of some words, phrases, or short sentences that will sum up the main subject of the passage. You can also find the key sentences. So outline again is very important in Precis writing. Next we have understanding the paragraph. Now we need to read the passage attentively and try to understand the main theme of the passage. And also we should try to get the idea what the writer is trying to convey. Because once you get the idea, it becomes easier for us to make the Precis writing clear to everyone. Underlining. Yes, underline is means to mark the important ideas and essential points from the original text. So it is equally important to underline the important points. Then comes omission. So also we need to omit all the unnecessary information that is not required, or also the long phrases which could be replaced by one word. So why to write such long phrases? All the adjectives and adverbs can be omitted in order to make a good Precis. So we need to omit needless words. I hope you are able to enjoy the process of writing a Precis. Now, next we have don't omit. Now, while writing a Precis, the writer should not omit the important points and ideas which are essential to be described. So don't do that. Something that needs to be conveyed to make your Precis writing clear to everyone, you should not omit the important points and ideas. Next, we have length. Keep the fact in your mind that the length of the Precis be 1/3 of the original passage. That is very important. Say for example, if the passage is of 200 words, you need to bring it to 50 words only. So count the words if you find that it is too long. So length is again very important when writing a Precis. So it needs to be 1/3 of the original passage. Then we have indirect speech. So Precis should be written in direct speech. If there is direct speech in the passage, it should be converted to indirect speech. So direct speech can be converted into indirect speech. Also, you need to write it in your own words. Try to abstain yourself from borrowing words from the original passage. Don't take words from the original passage. Try to include your own words. That really adds to your writing. Also, at the same time, you need to avoid giving opinions. You are not supposed to give any comments, appreciative, critical on the ideas expressed in the passage. So, whatever is mentioned in the passage, just stick to that. Precis should be in paragraph form. There may be one or more paragraphs in original passage, but your precis should be in only one paragraph. So you have to ensure that you write it in just one paragraph. Next, we have tenses and person. So at the same time, we need to keep in mind the tense also that we are using. So a precis should be written in past tense, but in case of universal truth, present tense should be used. And which person to use? Yes, always use third person. So whenever you're writing it, you have to use the third person only. No change in meaning. While writing a precis, don't change the meaning of precis, but it should be written in your own words. Try to abstain from borrowing words from original passage. So meaning needs to be the same, but yes, you can use your own words. Try to write in your own words. Then comes rereading. Now, next is to reread the passage several times if necessary for clear understanding of ideas. Also, you need to observe the emphasis or approach used by the author. So rereading is must. Followed by conclusion. The conclusion should restate the main idea of the text and reiterate the main support. Do not provide any new information. Remember to avoid any personal statements about the passage. So this is the conclusion, that it should restate the main idea. We are not going to provide any new information, and also we need to avoid any personal statement about the passage. Let's summarize it. So we have step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and conclusion sentence. So we begin with an article that is relevant and interesting. Read it and make sure that you understand it. Then step 2, select the most important points, underline or highlight these points. Step 3, collect your keywords. Step 4, place your ideas in sentences. Arrange your sentences into one unit, the synopsis. Conclusion sentence, restate the main idea and reiterate the main support in your conclusion. So now let's have a look at the sample of well-written precis. Nature of dreams. When people dream, they experience various emotions such as anxiety, joy, fear, etc. Often, dreamers believe their dream is real. Many people have recurring dreams. Nightmares are also commonly experienced. They may be due to unresolved problems. Dreams may be extensions of one's thoughts, embodiments of one's fears and desires, and predictions about the future. Dreams may even be useful in solving problems. The famous psychologist Carl Jung was known for keeping a dream journal. So this is a well-written precis. So what the conclusion is, that the title of the precis reflects the theme of the passage and it is 1/3 the length of the original passage. Also, it is written in simple and unambiguous language. Thus, if you have all these contents in your Precis writing, it is a well-written Precis. So, this is how we have to go about Precis writing. Now, I have an exercise for you. So, let's read a passage and let's see how we are going to change it. Fine. Tracts of land from which coal is obtained are called coal fields. These so-called fields are not on the surface of earth, but at some depths below it. They consist of layers of beds which run under the ground. When a layer of this kind has been opened, the opening is called a mine and hence is classed as a mineral. So this was, the information that has been extracted from a passage. Now let's have a look at this passage. It is physically impossible for a well-educated, intellectual or brave man to make money the chief object of his thoughts, just as it is for him to make his dinner the principal object of them. All healthy people like their dinners, but their dinner is not the main object of their lives. So all healthy-minded people like making money, ought to like it and enjoy the sensation of winning it. It is something better than money. A good soldier, for instance, mainly wishes to do his fighting well, is glad of his pay very properly so, and justly grumbles when you keep him 10 years without it, till his main mission of life is to win battles, not to be paid for winning them. So of clergymen, the clergyman's object is essentially baptize and preach, not to be paid for preaching. So of doctors, they like feasts, no doubt, ought to like them. Yet if they are brave and well educated, the entire object to their lives is not feasts. They, on the whole, desire to cure the sick. And if they are good doctors and the choice were fairly to them, would rather cure their patient and lose their fee than kill him and get it. And so with all the other brave and rightly trained men, their work is first, their fee second, very important always, but still second. So let's have a look how we are going to bring it to 1/3. Money making is a common attraction in life, but it cannot be the principal aim of well-educated, cultured, and brave man. A brave soldier prizes honor and victory more than his pay. A good clergyman is more interested in the moral welfare of his people than his returns. A doctor values the care of his patient far more than his fees. Thus, with all the well-educated intellectual persons, their work is first, money next. So I hope now you get to know how to write a good Precis writing. So that was all for today. Thank you so much for listening. Take good care of yourself. Bye.